Hello there, and welcome to the Potent Puffin Podcast. And I'm your host, Jake Thomas. And sitting here beside me is Kita, the Elk Hound. Now, if you tuned in last week, it's kind of just like a catch-up episode after I've been gone from the podcast for a couple months now. And so I'm kind of going to keep going with that right now. Talk about some of this, expand a little more on some of that. And I just want to say, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving last week. I know we did. We celebrated on Wednesday with a Friendsgiving, had a few friends over, and they all brought their kids, and kids all played, adults played games, had good food, and it was a good time. We haven't had a get together like that in a while. Not necessarily because of COVID, just because everyone's lives have been, kind of crazy, and it's kind of hard to organize getting everyone together sometimes. But it was good. We got to do that on Wednesday, and then I worked all day Thursday on the actual day of Thanksgiving. But it was a pretty relaxed shift for the majority of the time. We did have one turkey theft. I don't know why people are stealing turkeys on Thanksgiving, but they were. But yeah, so I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and is enjoying, the whole Black Friday thing. If you did that, we did. Our local sporting goods store, they have a big thing every year where they give out a bunch of gift cards, and usually we'll get there like 2 hours before they open, and there'll be one line down the side of the building into the back parking lot, and their parking lot and their back lot's completely full. And then there's a second line on the other side door going down the street, and the parking lot across the street is completely full. But this year we only got there an hour early, and there was only the one line going towards their back lot, and there's only like 10 people maybe. And then, I kind of forgot what I was saying there for a second. But then, even their parking lot was empty, so we were able to actually park in their lot and not have to walk across the street like we normally do. So it was kind of nice. Like, you could actually like walk around the store and check out all the deals. I was really surprised because usually it's like a big thing here in Kodiak to sit outside Max and wait for the gift cards. Not so much this year. And usually they're out of gift cards really quick, but when we were leaving, they're still handing them out. So I was kind of surprised that it was kind of down, but hey, it's fine. I like being able to walk around the store easier. But I heard later in the day it got really packed in there and looked like a typical Black Friday kind of thing. So with Black Friday, Thanksgiving out of the way now, I'm gonna go back a couple months, back to September when I was in Arkansas. Kind of talk about some of the stuff that me and Kalsin did there while Brandy was in Destin on her work retreat. So one of the big things that we did that I really enjoyed was we ended up going to Hot Springs, and I ended up going with my brother and his kid, and my mom went too, and we went to the Hot Springs Alligator Farm, and those two kids absolutely enjoyed that. I remember going there when I was younger, and I thought it would be something really cool to do with Kalsin, so we got to do it, and he had an absolute blast. He got to feed an alligator. So they put a little piece of hot dog on a stick, and you can hold it out to some of the smaller alligators, and they eat it. But Kalsin, he was all about helping the little ones that day, because there's this smaller alligator kind of towards the back, and it was trying to get to that hot dog, but it couldn't quite get it. And one of the other ones that's a little bit bigger tried to grab the hot dog, and Kalsin took the stick and whacked it on the alligator's head and told it no, and they like reached out a little further so that smaller one could get the hot dog. And I thought that was just hilarious that he would do that. And but I also liked it that, he's kind of watching out for the smaller ones. And also they have like a petting zoo there too. And they have goats, and you can feed the goats. And kind of the same thing. Kalsin's like feeding the goats, and he's like making sure this like little tiny goat that couldn't make it to the front of the pen because the larger ones were all blocking its way. Kalsin made sure that goat got some of the bread too, and made sure it didn't, go hungry. So I thought that was cool that he was kind of like watching out for the smaller animals when he was feeding them, making sure that, they were able to eat too. Because, sometimes it's like, the smaller ones, they can't climb over the big ones to get to where the food is. So I thought that was cool that Kalsin did that. They also got to pet an alligator, so they have like a baby one, and they let older people hold it, so I got to hold it, and its mouth is rubber band shut, so it can't bite you or anything. And so I got to hold this little alligator while Kalsin and Cregan kind of pet it. So I thought it was cool that they got to feel an alligator and kind of learn more about them. And so that's a pretty neat place if you're ever in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and you're looking for something different to do. Go check out the Alligator Farm. Especially if you got little ones, it's cool because they got the petting zoo, and it's a unique experience for them. So, yeah, go check that out if you're ever in the area. And then the other thing that we did was we went to the Mid-America Science Museum, which we used to go to not a lot, but quite a few times when I was a kid. And I thought it'd be really cool to take Kalsin there because it's a very interactive museum. And I knew he had fun when we went to the Museum of Discovery in Little Rock back in January. So I thought, oh man, this museum in my mind was always better when I was a kid. So let's go take him to this one. And a lot of it had some of the same stuff from when I was a kid that I remember enjoying. And there's some new stuff too. Like now they have this Dinosaur Walk that you can do. So they on the grounds there's a walking trail, but they got life-size dinosaurs set up, and so you can walk around and read about the different dinosaurs. And they're kind of broken up into the different periods. So they're Triassic, Jurassic, and all that. They're all broken into their respective periods. And you can learn from. They got little quotes on the ground that you can find and read. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I thought it was really cool that they had the dinosaurs. Kalsin and Cregan, they both enjoyed it, fighting over who was going to guess which dinosaur it was, and, kind of thing. And they had speakers in these rocks that would make dinosaur noises. So it seemed like the dinosaurs were growling or whatnot at you. But Kalsin, he knew right away that it was just a speaker and it wasn't really happening, and he was not getting into the make believe of pretending that it was real. He was like, it's not really growling at us, Dad. It's in that rock over there. It's a speaker. And I'm like, all right, kid, I'm glad you know that, but you can't enjoy being immersed in the experience here. And then another cool thing that they have is they have this little maze there that's supposed to be going through a cavern. I think it's called Arkansas Underground or something like that. But it's supposed to mimic going into a cave and seeing the different minerals and stuff that are below the ground. And Kalsin, we did it twice, but the first time Kalsin was kind of scared doing it because it gets dark in there. But once we did it the first time, he wanted to do it again, and the second time he was more, I want to stop and kind of look around to see some of these rocks and stuff that they have in here, and So I thought that was cool that, once he did it, he wanted to do it again and, try and learn more from it. So that was really cool. And I remember doing that when I was a little kid. So I thought it was cool that, I experienced it as he did when I was his age, and now I'm seeing him experience it. So I thought it was really cool for me as well as him. And then they got all kinds of other, interactive things. And they got like this thing with like this sand, it like projects like a topographical map kind of thing over it. As you move the sand, it kind of changes how the land changes with erosion and stuff like that. They got things to help you like generate electricity, and there's all kinds of like neat things like that like help develop critical thinking, science, math type skills, but in a fun way. And it's really cool. And I was glad to be able to take Kalsin to experience that, because he really is like he thinks critically pretty well in my mind, and I think it's good for him to be hands-on like that, because that's how, from watching him, that's how I think he learns best, is by being hands-on. And they actually did have a quote there, one of the quotes that was on the ground. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it said something like, teach me and I may learn, but involve me and I will learn, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but it was basically saying that, you can be told how to do something and you might understand it, or you might not, but if you're involved in doing it, then you're going to learn how to do it. So that's something that I think is really cool, because I definitely agree with that. I know for me especially, so Kalsin's probably similar, doing something is going to help you learn it better than being told or reading about it. Like, some things I can read about it and figure it out, but a lot of times I got to actually do it to really get a good understanding of what's being done and why it's being done. So, yeah. So I thought that was really cool that we were able to go do those two things with the boys, and they had a great time just being together, because they're constantly asking to FaceTime the other one. And I think it's cool that these two are cousins, and they live so far apart, but yet they still act like they're like close. They live close together, because when they are together, they're playing hard with each other. They're best friends, and so I think that's really cool. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things that really went on during my little podcast hiatus. It's something that I really enjoyed, and I thought others might enjoy hearing about it. And if you're in the Hot Springs, Arkansas area, those are two things I'd definitely recommend to check out, especially if you have kids. They're great experiences, and they're educational yet fun experiences. So yeah, if you do that, check those out. And yeah, hope everyone has a great week, and I'll catch y'all next time. And follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook on the Potent Puffin. If you like YouTube and cool abstract art drawings, you can watch the podcast on YouTube and see some cool puffin drawings that I do. And yeah, and if you want to help support the Potent Puffin podcast, you can always, leave a comment, be supportive that way, or you can check out my tip jar in the link, or, go Amazon and you can purchase my art book there, or if you're into science fiction, military, time travel kind of stuff, check out The Orbs of Dagobah, little like 80-page book I recently published. Those are some cool ways you can support me. If that's the kind of thing you're into, and I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you all next week.